All right, so one of the top of the hour tweets is Hulu. Drop the movie you could watch over and over again without getting tired of it. Kyle, what's the one that instantly comes to your mind?
Well, I mean, just because of what we were talking about a few minutes ago and yesterday, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Really? How appropriate. I'm going to go with Shattered Glass.
That's a good one. I like that movie.
Hayden Christensen. Hey, everybody, welcome
You
to
mad at
the.
me?
It's such a good movie. I love Shattered Glass. Welcome to the LPTV, and you kind of look like. What's his name?
Stephen Glass?
Yeah, Stephen Glass. You know, the name is right in the title, and I forgot. But yeah, you could do a Stephen Glass. Hey, everybody, welcome to LPTV, Disney Morning Show, where we talk about Disney sometimes. My name is Juby Mosley, co-founder here at Laughing Place, and it's a big day here, which we'll get to on this day in Disney history. It's a big day here, this August 1st, 2023. The guy over there is Kyle Burbank, managing editor at Laughing Place. How you doing today, Kyle?
I'm doing well. Happy 24th.
Very good. Very good. I didn't know you would know that.
And to celebrate, Doobie's shirt was provided by Roosevelt's. So thank you to the good people at Roosevelt's for outfitting him. And my shirt was provided to me by my wife.
Thank you to her. That's a requirement. Hey, Geo. Hey, Mass Scaries, appropriate name there. And hey, cuties. All right, so we have some stuff to talk to you about. But before we do, we start this show the way we start every show, with a look at the money. If I recall correctly, yesterday we were in the $86 range, close to 87. Where are we at today, Kyle?
Well, I did see that Standard & Poor's has confirmed Disney's A- rating, which seems good. They didn't downgrade them. So I'm going to go ahead and take a risk on up.
A minus is the first loser. That's what my mom always taught me. Okay,
That's why you skipped 2 grades.
First of all, investor relations page had been indie, I think. Every time we've been to it since we've been doing the show, it's been a movie, and now they have switched it to Tron Light Cycle Run. So as I told Kyle before the show, I think they want to finally put something successful here.
Yeah, they want to focus on the the part of the company that's making money still, and those are the parks.
And 89.51, way up, approaching 90. Wow. To the moon. To the moon. Did you see? So I went to see Indiana Jones and the Dial of Endless chases through the street yesterday, and they had a trailer for a movie based on the GameStop thing that looked like a lot of fun. Are you familiar with this? You're familiar with GameStop?
I'm not. I'm familiar with the short squeeze, but I'm not familiar with this movie. I've seen documentaries and stuff, but I assume this was a narrative movie.
This is a narrative movie. It's kind of light. It kind of reminds me of, say, The Big Short or something, where it's done in a way that keeps it light and fun. And
Better than Wolf of Wall Street.
Which I keep wanting to see Wolf of Wall Street, and then I put it on and just see how crass it is, and I can never get through it.
I haven't walked out on very many movies. I walked out on that one just because like I got halfway through and I'm like, I don't want to do this for another hour and a half. And there's a part where he's like explaining how it works. And he's like, well, you don't care about that. And I'm like, no, that's the part I do care about. So I wanted Wolf of Wall Street to be The Big Short, and it wasn't. So then The Big Short came out, and I'm like, okay, cool. Now I never need to see the rest of Wolf of Wall Street.
I love movies like that. I saw Blackberry not too long ago. That was a really good one. Also told in kind of a light way. Any movies like that, I'm in love with. Documentaries, movies. Startup.com is my favorite documentary of all time. The story of GovWorks. Wonderful movie. Anyway, we're going to get back to Disney, I think, with our Is he ready? Is he back? Mm-hmm. Did he walk through the picket lines?
Still picket lines. He got a waiver. Ethan's an independent company, so he gets to make his own rules.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to, what do we even call this thing again? Oh, right, the LP Disney Weather Report. My name is, Ethan, I think, and I think at this point is when I sing a song. Won't you come see about me? I'll be alone, dancing, you know it, baby. Tell me your troubles and doubts, giving everything inside and out in love strange, so real in the dark. Think of the tender things that we were working on. Slow change may pull us apart when the light gets into your heart, baby. Don't you forget about me. Don't you forget about me. Let's get to the weather. Anaheim will be partly cloudy today and will reach a high of 86, although they won't actually reach that until nearly dinner time. After that, temps will begin retreating to the 70s. Walt Disney World will make it to 90 today, and that will feel like 99. However, scattered storms could move in during the mid-afternoon, which will cool things off a bit. Castaway Cay experienced thunderstorms this morning but should just be mostly cloudy for the rest of the day with a high of 88. Disneyland Paris could see some light rain for a bit longer, followed by a nice night in the 60s. Tokyo will be sunny tomorrow with a high of 91 that will feel like 101. Shanghai will also get to 91 tomorrow, but theirs will feel like 106. Hopefully the 14 miles per hour winds will be helpful to parkgoers. Lastly, Hong Kong will make it up to 90 tomorrow and, surprisingly, that will only feel like 101. They'll also enjoy mostly sunny skies throughout the day. And that's another LP Disney weather report in the books. It's so good to be back, but I'm taking tomorrow off. In any case, it's 3-show Tuesdays, so stay tuned for Barely and DTL at 4 and 7:30 respectively. Bye for now.
Is that Tokyo, right? Toy Story Mania with the giant Woody mouth.
Tokyo Disney Sea.
Is that the scariest scene in any Disney theme park?
It might be currently, probably.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Ethan. Now I know I will have a wonder. Wow. Don't let Ethan. That's going to go to Ethan's head thinking he has ultimate power. Don't you forget about me. Simple Minds. Yeah. From Breakfast Club, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Say as if I don't know. All right. Let's get started with the news. We're going to start off with a look at some stuff going on in Hong Kong Disneyland. The last castle you just saw in Ethan's report is the first thing you're going to see in our actual news report as we watch this tweet from Hong Kong Disneyland about something cool that's coming.
I think you mean this X.
I'm sorry?
This X.
No. See what it says up there? Continue watching on Twitter. They have not completely abandoned the name. And neither am I. Goodness. The things that happen when I go on vacation, that was weird.
This year is the 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company, and it's also the 80th anniversary of Hong Kong Disneyland.
今次好特別嘅意義就係喺香港迪士尼樂園度假區呢一度咧，可以有一個全新嘅銅像。
The origin story has Walt taking his daughters over to the Griffith Park merry-go-round. So it seemed very natural for us to choose our carousel.
我哋今次團隊裏邊咧有兩位嘅大師級人物，第一位就係 Chris Turner， 咁佢一路指導 Sandra 去畫佢嘅畫作啦。另一位就係 Scott， 咁今次佢亦都同兩位 sculptors 啦 ，Patrick 同埋 Irma 咧就一齊塑造咗 Mickey 同埋 Walt。
We talk so much about what we should call this, and Dreammakers was this perfect encapsulation. Walt and Mickey brought so many dreams to life.
Dreammakers 嘅中文名係創夢家，創除咗係創作啦、創意，仲有創新。我哋好希望秉承住華特創新嘅精神，令到我哋唔係單單只係夢想，仲要係創夢。
I like the subtle shade that they're throwing at the idea that there's carousels at Disney parks. So they're like, yeah, he sat on a bench eating peanuts, looking at the carousel, saying, I wish there was something better than this. Now he's going to continue to do that for all time at Hong Kong Disneyland. But he's got a friend this time.
So, coming in October 2023, it says. Beautiful. Is this still coming to Epcot?
That's a different statue. Yeah, the Dreamer's Point is still coming. They have confirmed that it's still coming. They haven't really provided detail. I don't know. That whole project's been confusing.
It is. Okay, Tony Betty chiming in. Toy Story Mania in Tokyo is not the scariest thing in Disney Park as Wendell the Country Bear's delicious. That is a good competition. Maybe that should be our next Mouse Madness. It's scary things in Disney parks.
Although whenever I hear the name Wendell, I think of, remember when Cinnamon Toast Crunch had like the 3 chefs, and pretty sure one of them was Wendell. Beyond your cereal eating days?
No, I had some cereal not so long ago. For the first time in a long time, though. You know, when you get to be old and lactose thing, that gets in the way. Okay, next up is some news in the Disney World theme park arena involving tickets. So apparently they would like more people to go to Epcot and Animal Kingdom. So they have a new Florida resident 2-park explorer ticket. It is a 2-day
You know
ticket.
how I could tell they wanted more people to go to those 2 parks before this?
How?
They're the cheapest Genie Plus parks.
So what they're going to do is allow you to buy a 2-day ticket, no park hopping, where one day will be used at Epcot and the next day will be used at Animal Kingdom, or one day would be used at Animal Kingdom and the next day will be used at Epcot, or you can use both at the same day. Yeah. I don't think there's anything that said you can't use, both at the same park. I don't think there's anything
Yeah.
you can't do that. Right. It is only $159, which, if my math is right, is less than $80 per day, which for a Disney theme park these days is way cheap. Ticket is valid from August 1st to September 29th. Florida residents only, as I said, and theme park reservations are required. Let's see. I think I saw you could add the water. Okay, that may be. That's something we should look into. It's not in our article here. It is in our article here. For $35, guests can purchase a Florida resident 2-park explorer ticket that includes water park and sport options for $35 more per ticket. So there you go. That's a deal. Water parks are fun. And all of July, those 2 parks were bonus reservations every day, except for maybe the 4th of July for APs. So yes, those are the parks they're trying to funnel you to. Even though Epcot started a festival now, so I've got to believe that's going to have some effect on the attendance.
But it's got a huge, I don't know if, Epcot capacity is so high because it's so massive. There's plenty of place to put people.
And you want people to go there because they spend money on food and drink. It would be nice to see Dreamers Point arrive on Walt's birthday just before the heart of the Christmas season, which would be December 5th. Yeah, that would be a good thing to tie it into. I would not be shocked if that happened. I also would not be shocked if they tied it into Epcot's birthday, if it is far enough along. Because we've seen a lot of talk about when Moana's opening, but not a whole lot about Dreamers Point.
Maybe they're going to follow the Universal thing where they're like, it's open, but it's officially opening in a week.
Not the same when it's not arrived. You say the statue is open, but it's not actually open. Okay, so over at Magic Kingdom, and I still can't believe this, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party starts on August 11th. That is 10 days from now. It is not Halloween time. But it is starting. They've announced some new entertainment this year. There's going to be a spirited band, a pirate band over in Adventureland, where you can hear their sea shanties. Are you a fan of shanties?
I know they were big on TikTok for a while.
Oh, our social media master. You're going to be able to stand out with Max Goof and his Powerline Party Pack and pop-up parties throughout the Magic Kingdom. And it looks like that's the new stuff that's coming. Of course, our guys will be there when it debuts. I'm sure we're going August 11th.
So wait, they're called pop-up parties?
Yes.
They didn't want to go with Powerline flash mobs?
Apparently not.
Like Power Flash?
Yeah, that would make sense. Nope. So, like I said, we'll be there. Do you know if we're there August 11th? Can't imagine we're not.
I'm sure. Who knows?
There's
I would
no
have
way.
to imagine.
There's no way we're not there August 11th to cover the first one of these and get all the stuffs. So
100
stay
degrees
tuned here.
and drinking cider. Yeah.
It is not Halloween. Does Jeremiah ever dress up when he goes to this?
Dresses up in his provided by Roosevelt's, I'm sure.
That is true. I was scrolling TikTok this morning, as I am wont to do, and I saw a Roosevelt's ad, which the way the ads work on TikTok is they get some famous TikToker to do the ad, and it says sponsored down there. Sometimes it's on the TikToker channel. In this case, it was actually on Roosevelt's channel. But it was the Roosevelt's collection of Paging Mr. Morrows. So I got to
There
see
you go.
Nate, and all of his TikTok. I should have used that for a pocket pic today.
And speaking of TikTok, you can pull up the story. Former CEO of TikTok, Kevin Mayer, along with former Disney CFO Tom Staggs, and also head of the Parks Department, they are apparently consulting with Disney and specifically Iger on the ESPN thing now. Obviously, Mayer also worked for Disney and was He was the one that got pushed out by, no, that was right. I don't know. I forget when he left, but both of them were viewed as heir apparent to the CEO role at one point, and then both left, and now they have a company together.
And now they're being consulted by Disney.
Or they're consulting with Disney.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to phrase that. This undoubtedly is sparking some rumors.
Yeah, there was also talk a little bit ago that maybe Disney would acquire the company that the two of them have together and then use that as a mechanism. So this is a little bit different. They are still, I thought that the original headline, which I believe came from the Puck newsletter, said like, these two back at Disney, and I'm like, yeah, that's a little strong. They're consultants. They're not like hired,
right?
Like they're not employees. But yeah, kind of interesting. Who knows if anything will come of it? I'm inclined to think that it's maybe a little bit of a test, but they obviously they've had a successful I think it's called like something with candle involved in the name of their company.
Candle Media.
They've made some waves, a bunch of acquisitions in recent years, and yeah, it was always interesting to see these two match up to make this company. It'd be even more interesting to see them come back to Disney in some capacity, or larger capacity, I should say.
Tom Staggs, future CEO of Disney. He was my pick back in the day. I don't know why they got rid of him. He's coming back. My man Staggs.
Another thing they can unphotoshop from the Pandora video photo.
It's not Russia. They don't change the past.
They don't change the fake past. They photoshopped over people that weren't there anymore when Pandora opened. They had like the groundbreaking, but they photoshopped a couple people out, so now they can unphotoshop them.
Did they really?
They can restore them. Yeah, you didn't know about this?
No.
The head of who was the head of Imagineering, or one of the people at Imagineering? But
I don't know.
Tony will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'll have to show you later. There's the real photo, and then there's the one that you can find in Pandora, and
that's disgusting. Oh man, that's horrible.
So it is Russia, I guess, Doobie.
Yeah, it is Russia. Who knew? All right, let's see. If you're a merchandise fan, I would not be surprised if they talk about this story later on Fairly Necessities, but there is some cool, fun new merchandise at the Contemporary Resort celebrating The Incredibles, which is what the resort is now themed to. So this is just a reminder to tune in to Barely Necessities today at 4 p.m. for that and tons of other merchandise. I know a lot of Halloween stuff is starting to appear all over the place. I wonder if they're going to be tackling that today. That's like a special show out of itself. You just forgot. You knew. That's the story of my life.
Did you know that you've been to that hotel in San Diego twice?
One of the joys of being me is you get to do things for the first time many, many times.
It's like 50 first dates.
Yeah, I've been on 14 first cruises. It's spectacular. It's great. All right, we've got some construction going on at Epcot. We already talked about the world of Moana, the Journey of Water, Moana, and Jeremiah. I'm guessing this was Jeremiah. Got on a monorail ride. Got some new construction pictures of all the stuff going on over there for the project that will never, ever, ever, ever end. We should, along with taking a poll on what the stock price will be on the 100th, we should do a poll on when all the construction will be complete in the former future world.
The former future will never be complete as long as there's imagination left in that one.
Somehow it was complete for like 20 years, 30 years before they started this project. Yellowstone, ? Okay.
Thanks for watching, Jeremiah.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Jeremy. I forgot about Jeremy already.
Dubious channel you've been introduced today. I'm a fan. Are you saying I'm not as up as I often? I am. This is like when you go to the gym. You never know how much energy you're going to have until you actually start dancing. And I am finding out this is not a high energy day. And yes, it is like living with you. Yeah. It means I fall in love with you every day, Rebecca.
Aw.
Everything has a positive. Over at the future Pixar Place Hotel, they have debuted their new swimming pool, which we are going to take a look at here.
Do you remember when the press release started this?
Remember, you gotta rip it, roll it, and punch it. That was totally wicked. Give me some fin, noggin.
Originally, instead of it said that the slide was 200 something feet tall, or maybe even higher than that. I forget what, but yeah, they added an extra digit, and it was pretty funny.
So, do you remember what you have to do, Kyle? You have to
Fin, noggin, dude,
at the beginning.
something, rip it, and
Wow. Mike Celestino got that on yesterday's show. I am shocked that you didn't.
I'm sorry, I didn't know I was supposed to be paying attention. I didn't know there was going to be a quiz afterwards.
Well, if you knew there was going to be a quiz, it wouldn't be as much fun. So you can take a look at it here. This again is open already, themed to Nemo, even though the hotel itself has not yet changed its name.
Although that was Dory. Like that had Hank on there, so it's Finding Dory as well.
Right, good point. Does our article just say Nemo? Because maybe we're wrong.
The world of Finding Nemo, I guess you could go with that.
So it's the new Finding
You could say
Nemo
the world of
themed
Toy
world.
Story, and then you mean everything 1 through 4.
I don't see the words world of anywhere. I just see Finding Nemo themed.
Tony.
Tony.
Technically.
Who wrote that one? It was written by Tony, too.
Oh.
Oh. Disappointed in you, Mr.
No, it's
Betty.
Disney's fault. That's their nomenclature. They can do what they want with it. But technically, characters from the world of Finding Nemo, not just the movie itself.
Just because Disney wrong does not mean we get to be wrong.
It says keep reading.
Okay.
Shots fired in return.
Okay. Let's see. Dory. The Septipus from Finding. Okay, he does mention. Okay, fine. Tony wins.
I never lost faith in you, Tony.
Tony always wins.
Dream lover come.
All right, a couple things before we get to. That's really all the news we've got today. Not a lot of news. We're going to get to. I got a pocket pick today, thanks to Tony. Reminder: Who's the Boss? Had a special edition last night dedicated to remembering Paul Rubens with his special guest Kurt Sandvig. So if you want to see Kurt and Mike Celestino, remember the highly impactful career of Paul Rubens. It's amazing how impactful it was. And you just see Twitter yesterday. Check out that special edition of Who's the Boss. You can find that on laughingplace.com, of course, or your favorite podcast player. Let's talk a little recap kind of stuff. First, I saw Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny last night. Saw it with my wife. Saw it with my son. I believe our reactions at the end were Rebecca. That was really long. Doobie. It was like a long chase scene. That's all it was. Just one big 2.5 hour chase scene. Gideon, I really liked it. So
Better than
it was
4?
all. He's only seen 1.
No, but I mean you.
Oh, no, 4 is actively hatred. Yeah, this is infinitely better than 4.
Okay.
Infinitely. It's just so monotonous. It really feels like just a 2.5 hour chase scene. It just goes on and on and on. It was fun in the moment of each one, but it just goes on. Hard to stay awake. But I love that Gideon loved it, and it was not bad by any stretch. Good story. Don't mind it at all. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
No, we'll not ask your opinion.
You can ask. I'll be like, I'll let you know when it hits Disney Plus, and maybe then I'll watch it, but probably still not. I don't know.
But far more important than Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Kyle, did you see yesterday's claim to fame?
I did not yet. No.
No.
I know. I'm excited to. We will. Hopefully tonight. But being away. We have to watch it before. I'm going to Indianapolis tomorrow, so yes, I need to watch it with my wife tonight so that we can talk about it on. Hopefully, I'll be on Friday and we can talk about it.
Yes, we will talk about it on Friday. There is some indication that our guy has finally been, or at least they're talking about knowing who he is. Yes.
Did the person go, "Oh my gosh, he looks just like him. Why didn't we think of this before?"
No.
Oh.
So they did. The challenge or whatever was asking questions of people while their finger is in a pulse meter.
Oh.
And so based on the questions that were asked, you got the sense that some people were finally figuring things out. It's funny though, it felt like people were answering the questions honestly, even though they didn't have to.
Yeah, because wasn't it like the person who lies the most ends up in the bottom too? That's how it was last year. I haven't seen this one, obviously, but yeah.
I don't know if it was. I thought it was the person who could figure out, who did the worst job of figuring out who was lying.
Okay, they might have changed. I don't remember 100%, but they did do a lie detector last season.
I can't even remember who got kicked out now. Goodness.
That's okay. Don't tell me.
So, but the person guessed. Well, I'll ruin this for you. The person that guessed wrong.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was fun. It was a good episode. I'm sad we can't talk about it, but that's okay. We got Friday. Probably best anyway. All right, let us do this. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? All right, this one comes to us from my favorite person in the entire world, Tony Betty. Let me get this queued up. Sorry, I forgot to queue it up. There it is. That works. Right here. This comes to us from the world of Disneyland.
Bring it back, Mickey. Bring it back.
Fantasmic is back at the Disneyland Resort.
Yep. That's confirmed. He didn't. Weird. He didn't say the line though.
He doesn't.
He got shot.
All right, Kyle. Are you ready for some education?
I'm so ready to fail. Yeah.
Yeah. These aren't easy. All right.
Okay.
1974 live-action movie. Cowboy Lincoln Costain gets shanghaied in San Francisco, then jumps ship and washes ashore on the Hawaiian island of Kauai, right into the arms of widow Henrietta McAvoy and her son, who are struggling to make a living as farmers.
Macadamia nut.
Excellent guess. Never heard of this movie, but it is called The Castaway Cowboy, starring James Garner and Vera Miles. Wow.
The clues were there.
Look at that.
I guess if you've ever heard of the movie, you gave
The clues were there.
the
yes.
plot. It could not be confused with anything else.
I can't believe my wife knows that movie. I am shocked. 1974. Okay.
As I always say, it was a family favorite.
1997. A gentleman received a window on Main Street. I will give you a hint. This is probably, in terms of how windows are normally given and accomplishments, the least accomplished person to receive a window on Main Street.
Oh wow. A person, is it the person? Oh, so is it someone who worked there at the time?
Maybe right up until the day before.
Oh, okay. So they would have retired in 1997? Is it someone not so liked? Okay. As in, no, it's not someone disliked.
It's not someone disliked.
Okay. Who would have retired in 97? So it's, I don't know.
Oh. So the reason he is the least accomplished, it's not Ron Dominguez, Gio, is because he was just an everyday cast member. He happened to be the last of the 1955ers to work at Disneyland.
Okay.
Bob Penfield, who retired in 1997. So the last of the opening day cast to work at Disneyland retired in 1997.
The last of the cast.
Club 55, they called him. All right, I'm going to... what am I doing? Okay, sorry. Also 1997. Jeez. Also 1997, live action movie. Wow, Tony Betty. Meg Crofton wasn't in the 70s. Meg just sitting around trying to have a good day and Tony throwing shots.
Well, my first thought was Pressler.
He does not have a window on Main Street.
I didn't think so.
All right. See if you can figure out this 1997 live action movie. The synopsis is a golden retriever who can play basketball.
Air Bud.
Air
Hey,
Bud.
I had to wait till you say basketball because
Number of Air Bud and Air Buddies movies, but this, I believe, is the original.
yeah,
1997 Air Bud.
there's
All
no
right, I'm
rule
gonna
that
skip.
says a dog can't play basketball. That's what we learned. It still, comes up a lot in
Have you actually seen that movie?
no.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to skip a year and come back to that in a moment. So let's go with 2014
Are you gonna skip
MCU.
1999?
I am. 2014 MCU. That's all you get.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy, the surprise number 2 movie of the year that year. Do you remember what number 1 was? If my memory serves.
In 2014?
Yeah.
Well,
See if I'm right. I know we were shocked at the time. Nope, I'm wrong.
no, because the Return of Star Wars wasn't until the next year, right?
Yeah. I'm totally
So
wrong.
then-
Guardians was number 1. No, wait. Now I'm confused because I remember this movie being number 1. Why isn't it on this list? All right. Vamp, Kyle.
Vamp. Okay. Well, speaking of vamps, is there a vampire involved? Were those movies still around then?
They were, but that's not the one I'm thinking of.
Okay. And it wasn't. Potters were done. And that would have beat Guardians of the Galaxy. So I don't know.
Okay, so I know why.
Something actually original.
So it actually was number 1 for movies released that year. It was released at the end of the year, so most of its gross went into the next year. But it actually made more than Guardians of the Galaxy. The number 1 movie released in 2014 was American Sniper.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. One of those little more niche movies that somehow catches fire and goes to number 1. Hey, Rich, you didn't miss anything, just the entire show. But good thing we have Rewind available, because it was a great one, let me tell you. Great. Shirt by Roosevelt. All right, on this day in 1999, something occurred extremely important to your life, your wife's life, many of your best friends' lives.
LaughingPlace.com officially launched.
LaughingPlace.com officially launched, as you know it today. This image is from May 8th, 1999. We'll call that the soft launch. Back in the day, we were only Disneyland when we soft launched in April. And then our official launch was August 1st, 1999. It looked a lot like this. Check out that logo. These were actual buttons, but the Wayback Machine didn't have them for some reason. And we were mostly just a portal linking to a bunch of different websites. And then we also put on the day's news. And that was it. That's how we were. And today we are a multi-$1,000 LLC employing more than negative
Multi-thousand, yes. Well,
Multi-thousand.
maybe a few more thousand if you our guys are just finishing their 24-day trip around the world on a private jet.
So happy birthday to LP, 24 years
There's
old
personal
today.
money, and then there's business money.
I don't know where money comes from. I don't know what's personal, what's business.
Who
I
knows
don't
where
care.
thoughts come from? They
I
just
would
appear.
rather it be business money because I own 40% of that, and that means I am getting a big refund next year if that's where that came from. Please use LP money on that. Let's see. So that's LP, 24 years. Happy birthday to us. We
What are we doing for the silver next year? Are we going to make the whole site silver?
I feel like we definitely need to have an LP retreat next year. It needs to be an Adventures by Disney or a cruise.
I can't wait for LP to be able to rent a car.
We should we should invite everyone that's ever worked for LP to be a part of the retreat. Everyone.
Or not.
Jim Hill, everyone that's ever gotten $1 from LP should be there. Bob Gurr, he never got paid, but he worked for LP. He should be there. But anyway, yeah, this was started by myself and my wife. We really did everything back in the day, Rebecca and me. We did have some people help us way back then. Yes, that would mean you're invited too, Justin. John Frost, Ken Pellman, a lot of people wrote articles here and there, but the day-to-day drudgery that's now done by a team of 6 or 7 was done.
No, actually, the drudgery was back in the day. The old one.
It's just back then it was just me and Rebecca doing it for almost nothing. Hey, LP can rent a car now. We just have to pay it. Exactly. So, anything else, Kyle, you wanted to talk about?
Can we just look at the old logo again for a moment and appreciate the 1999 of it all?
Yeah, let me get even a better version.
I mean, I'm just impressed you didn't have it wasn't laughingplace.geocities.com. So
Did have a domain from the start. I still like this logo. The bubbles, the colors, the flowers. Disneyland
how much was it?
Daily
Do you remember
News.
how much it was to register or .com domain back then?
So that's something that inflation has gone reverse on. It's like $14 now. Back then, I think it was probably $100 or something. It was expensive to get a domain.
I mean, you can get the first year for
Back
like
in the day.
$2.
Yeah, this is our original because it says Disneyland Daily News. I think we actually, no, I don't think we switched it for August 1st. I think it was a while. And right now we're probably on about our, not that many, 24 years, and I suspect we're on about our 4th or 5th logo. So we don't change it that often, and I kind of like what we got now. So, hey, Cheyenne, Wyoming. I was just in Wyoming. Now I know I was in the other corner, but I was there.
It's another planet, according to Doobie.
It is basically another planet. Oh my goodness. So the next adventure by Disney is underway. They arrive at Brooks Lake Lodge tomorrow. Brooks Lake Lodge has a webcam, so I'm looking forward to seeing their arrival and just reliving it through them. Yep, no graphic design, but I love
Graphic
the logo.
design isn't
Worked
your
out
passion?
well. You know what we never had on our site? Despite
Is
the
it
fact-
a text trail that follows your cursor?
We never had that. We never had a background MIDI. We never had a splash screen. We never had an under construction animated GIF. We never had a hit counter at the bottom. We were never a part of a web ring. Oh my goodness. All these things are come flooding back to you. Wow.
Yeah.
I think we were a part of the Disney Banner Network at one point. I think. So we did have pop-up ads. Gotta admit,
The
those
background
pop-up
MIDI
ads.
just especially when you're on a great connection, so you're just surfing a site for like a good 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden music just comes out of nowhere unexpectedly. Fantastic.
So the precursor to laughingplace.com was Doobie's Disneyland homepage. That was the first website I ever created, and it was the windows on Main Street and then my ramblings on things. And I'm pretty sure that the Tiki Room was the background MIDI for that website. Members.aol.com/doobie101, I believe is what that was. Yeah,
All
see,
these
we could have
youngins.
never changed the cursor to a tiny Tinkerbell. Nope. The things we didn't do. But what we did do is survive for 24 years and grow to the point where we actually help many of our friends make a living writing and doing Disney stuff, which I could not be more proud of, more happy about. So, yay.
Did you ever
Laughing
have
Place.
imagined back in those days that you'd one day be able to embed video that wasn't the size of a postage stamp and people could play it through without downloading it for 3 days?
Yeah, back then when we did video, I don't think we did it at the very beginning, but once we did start doing video, it was real video. You could download it in low bandwidth if you had a 56K connection, or high bandwidth if you had a LAN connection. I believe it was low bandwidth was 128 and high bandwidth was like 512.
Yep.
Real media.
Do you remember Winamp?
Wow. Never used it on the site, but I believe Winamp is still a pretty popular MP3 player.
And then, of course, also if you look back at old LP articles, even now some of the ones you could still access have like click this button to see this in a much higher thing, because you didn't want to overwhelm people when they came to the site. If they have slow connection, they need to be able to see the
Right.
postage stamp, and then they can open a different page to see the full site.
And that was before HTML had stuff like source sets where you could send both in one and it would automatically adjust. Back then, you just sent the low, click for the high. Yes, we did use real media, as you saw we answered. And so I always think of that because I believe I always associate that with Mark Cuban. And I think I'm right on that.
No, that's
And-
well, maybe, but that's broadcast.
Right. I know it was broadcast.com, but I think they go together. I could be wrong. But I always, in my mind, associate them together, and therefore, whenever I think of Shark Tank and watch Shark Tank, which I do often, I think of LP. So even if I'm wrong on that, I don't want to be wrong because I want to keep that association in my head. Shark Tank and LP. Which maybe we
You know
should go
how
on Shark
many
Tank.
old, like early 2000s and late 90s punk rock videos I had in real media format?
Real media. Wow. And Discussion boards launched on Christmas Day of 2000. No, I'm sorry, Super Bowl Sunday. We had a habit of launching stuff on Super Bowl Sunday. It's like,
Counter-programming.
the site's going to be kind of quiet that day, so that's a good time to launch something. I'm going to be sitting at home all day. So, yeah, we launched, I think it was Super Bowl Sunday 2000, but it may not have been until 2001. And, of course, I wrote the discussion boards myself because I wasn't happy with the software that was out there. That's a bad habit I got into. It's just, hey, I don't like what's out there. I'm going to write it myself. Not always the best thing. I still do it, lpquiz.com.
I'd also, while we're talking old internet, I'd like to share that I had a Rio MP3 player that held 64 megabytes worth of songs.
I
Probably cost hundreds of dollars, and I could put like 10 songs on it.
I don't remember which one I had.
It was like making mix CDs, except I didn't have to burn them. It was very exciting. I could make
Right.
my own playlist for the day and then have to redo it. And I'm sure they had all of the cracks and stuff from downloading them off of Napster, because there wasn't legal downloading.
I had the MP3s too. I got them from, I didn't get into that until Napster was doing them legally. So I never got into the illegal or the unlicensed downloads back in the day. But yeah, I used to go to the gym with my MP3 player and my phone separate because in my mind, there's no reason anyone would ever want those to be on one device. So I always carried two. So one of the many tech things I've been wrong about over the past 25 years.
Did you have a custom faceplate on your Nokia?
Did I ever have a Nokia? Yeah, I did. I had the gray Motorola flip phone with the plastic antenna that came up. I love that.
Yeah.
And then I think my first smartphone was a Droid. I've never had an iPhone. Don't like Apple, but I think I finally got a Droid, which was really cool.
Droid.
Yes, thank you, Rebecca. Our discussion board software was really good, and it did not age well. Never got responsive, and it was never particularly fast. So, but see, the problem with discussion boards back in the 90s and early aughts, in my opinion, was you could not keep track of which threads you read and which threads you hadn't read. It knew when you were there, but if you didn't read all the posts in the section and you came back later, it didn't keep track for you. You had to kind of figure it out yourself. So I wrote one that kept track for every user exactly which threads you had and hadn't read, so you could pick up right where you left off. That was my claim to fame back then.
Doobie, I think
Yes.
your claim to fame is making it so.
Tony had a Marvin the Martian Nokia plate. Oh, and Rebecca. Wow. I don't remember. I must have had. Everyone had a Nokia cell phone who had a cell phone back in the day, right?
At some point, yeah. Either you had the tiny one or like the larger one that I'm thinking of that had the face
What was-
plates. And
What was your first cell phone like? Was it a tiny one, or did you ever have the brick that?
I
you
think the
needed a forklift to
Nokia.
carry?
No, well, my dad had like almost like a Zach Morris phone for a time, but I don't remember him using it. And then I got my Nokia. I remember he had a Motorola StarTAC for a while. So yeah, I went from my Nokia, the big Nokia, to I think the same silver Motorola you're talking. The first one that had like a color screen.
Oh. No, mine just like an LED numbers. It wasn't even a screen.
Oh, okay.
Just
So this was a little bit
LED.
later than that. So it was the first color screen that they had.
Wow.
And I got that Motorola, and then I don't remember what I had from there. I remember I loved I actually bought a broken one just to play with, the Sidekick, because it flips the screen.
That's
It had
cool.
a full keyboard. It's still awesome. If it worked, I would use it, honestly. And then I had a Palm, whatever, not Palm Pilot, but a Palm. I don't think that was the Trio or whatever. I don't know.
I definitely had PDAs back in the day with the stylus or with the slide-out keyboard, and I remember I mentioned I watched the BlackBerry movie, and they talk in that movie about when the iPhone comes out and there's no keyboard. Who wants to type on a screen? And that was me. That was me going, no one's going to want to type on a screen. People want a keyboard. Another miss in my technological history.
Now that the keyboard on my Sidekick still feels awesome. I just wish, yeah, if I could put a SIM in it and get it to actually work, I would downgrade. That's fine. It's got texting. It's got aim on it. What else do you need?
Yeah, I can remember, like before smartphones, but phones still had the internet, but they didn't really have a graphical display, and it was kind of comical. I was trying to use it back then. My favorite phone, even to this day, might be my old Nokia 3300 music phone. Yeah, that sounds like a get off my lawn kind of guy. Oh, the HP Jordana. That's right. That's what you had. Tech moves so dang fast. It is insane how fast. Anyway, we're old. Thanks for joining us today. Happy birthday, LP.
HBDLP, yes.
It's going to be gone tomorrow and
I'm going to
Thursday.
type that in random right now.
Cool. We're
Unless somebody already
hoping
did.
to do a show tomorrow and Thursday, even though Kyle's gone. I'm going to do my best to find someone to do it with me. But don't forget, today at 4 p.m. Pacific, it's Barely Necessities, and today at 7:30 p.m. Pacific is Disney Trivia Live, featuring contests to be determined later today. Until we talk again, au revoir.